these pieces, broken and scattered, in mercy gathered, mended and whole, empty-handed, but not forsaken. I've been set free. I've been set free. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, I can see you now. I can see the love in your eyes. You're laying yourself down, raising up the broken to life. You take our failure, you take our weakness, you set your treasure in jars of clay. So take this heart, Lord, I'll be your vessel, the world to see your life in me. Oh, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Oh, I the broken to life. You may be seated.
On the feast day of Passover week, when evening drew near, Jesus went to sit with his 12 disciples for the Passover dinner. During the meal, he said to them, "One of you will betray me." The disciples were grieved and saddened by this announcement. Deeply concerned, each of them asked, "Lord, is it I?"
He replied, "The betrayer is dipping his hand in the dish at the same time as me. The Son of Man is fulfilling the scriptures written about him. But woe to that man through whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would be better if he had never been born." Then Judas, the man who had betrayed him, said, "Master, is it I?" At the end of the feast, Jesus humbly came to each of his disciples and bathed their feet, wiping the dust away with a towel. Judas immediately left, and the disciples wondered if he might have been sent on an errand, since he was the group's treasurer.
Then Jesus said to them, "All of you will stumble this dark night. It has been written that the shepherd will be smitten and the sheep of the flock scattered about. But morning will come, and after I am raised up, I will go before you into Galilee."
But Peter said, "Even though all men will stumble, I will never be caused to stumble." And Jesus replied, "Truly, Peter, tonight, before the rooster crows, you will deny me not once, not twice, but 3 times." Peter said, "Even if it causes me death, I would not deny you, Lord." And the other disciples agreed with Peter that they would follow Jesus, even to their own deaths.
After dinner, Jesus took his disciples to the Garden of Gethsemane. He told the rest of them to sit down and pray while he walked a little further into the garden with Peter, James, and John. He became distressed, knowing the agony he would be facing in the coming hours. He told his friends, "My soul is grieving. Stay with me and keep watch while I pray."
He fell forward on the ground, crying out in anguish to his Father, "If it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I will, Father, but as you will."
Sorrowful, he returned to his friends, but they had fallen asleep on the ground. Heartbroken, he asked them, "Could you not watch with me for even 1 hour? Watch and pray. You will be severely tempted. I know your spirit is willing, but your flesh is weak."
A second time he ventured further into the garden alone and prayed, "Father, if it is not possible that this cup of suffering might pass from me, I pray that if I drink it, that your will may be done."
If
A few days before the Passover celebration, Judas Iscariot, one of Jesus' disciples, had gone to the chief priests and asked them what they would give him if he delivered Jesus to them. The priests and elders had been conspiring with the Roman government to arrest and kill Jesus quietly, so as to avoid a revolt among the Jewish people.
Then they agreed to give Judas 30 pieces of silver. From that day on, Judas had been looking for an opportunity to betray Jesus to his enemies.
As Jesus continued to pray and encourage his disciples, a great crowd of people, led by Judas, came to the Garden of Gethsemane. Judas drew near to Jesus and kissed him fervently, which was the sign agreed upon with the chief priests to identify Jesus. Jesus asked, "Friend, why are you here? Would you betray me with a kiss?"
The disciples were confused and afraid and asked Jesus if they should fight the high priest's servants with their swords. Jesus answered them, "Do you not believe that I could ask my Father in heaven and legions of angels would come to my rescue?"
Then Jesus looked around at the crowd of chief priests, elders, and captains of the temple. He asked them, "Why do you come to me with weapons, as if I were a thief? Every day I have been with you in the temple, and you did not lay a hand on me. But this is your hour and the power of darkness. All this has come to pass so that the words of the prophets might be fulfilled."
Then the disciples fled in fear, forsaking Jesus, as the angry mob seized him and led him away. The priests and elders delivered Jesus bound tightly to Pontius Pilate. Pilate had Jesus beaten, thinking this punishment would appease the Jewish rulers. As Jesus stood before the governor, Pilate questioned him, but he remained silent.
The soldiers braided a crown of thorns and placed it on his head, and put a purple robe over his shoulders, mocking him. Pilate went out to the people, saying, "I find no fault in him." Then he brought Jesus out, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. "Behold the man," Pilate said.
And the people cried out, "Crucify him."
Once again, Pilate questioned Jesus, and he gave no answer. Pilate asked him, "Don't you understand that I have the power to kill you or let you go free?" Jesus answered, "You would have no power at all, except God gave it to you."
Once again, Pilate brought Jesus to the people and said, "Behold your king." But they cried out, "Crucify him."
Pilate washed his hands and said, "I am innocent of the blood of this righteous man." The angry mob cried out, "Let his blood be on us and on our children." So Pilate handed Jesus over to them to be crucified.
has believed our report, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For he grew up like a tender plant, like a root out of dry ground. He had no form or loveliness when we beheld him. There was no beauty that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected. He was a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. We wanted to hide our faces from him.
Surely he has borne our griefs. He has carried our sorrows, but we considered him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted.
But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The punishment for our guilt was laid upon him, and by his stripes we are healed.
The 6-hour ordeal was almost over. Having offered forgiveness to all who would receive it and hope to a dying thief, after providing care for his grieving mother, experiencing the full consequences of our sin, and following his announcement of thirst and the declaration that he had finished his purpose, Jesus was ready to die. I suppose it would have been easy at this point for Jesus to have used his last word to chastise the religious leaders for their blindness. Or he could have blasted the Romans for their cruelty and the corruption of their governmental system. Or he could have pronounced judgment on those who stood there and mocked him, or even yielded to the temptation to have a pity party, bemoaning the unfairness of it all. He could have, and almost anybody else would have, but not Jesus. As was the case with all the other words we have heard from the cross, Jesus had something of crucial importance to say. Luke records it this way. Jesus called out with a loud voice, "Father, into thy hands I commit my spirit." And when he had said this, he breathed his last. This was his final word, a word of submission. And considering all that he had gone through during the previous 24 hours, we stand in amazement once again as Jesus shows us what it is like to be fully submitted to God. Of course, submission isn't a popular word in our day. Some use it to promote the dominance of one race or gender over another. And others see it as an indication of weakness that must be discarded in order to advance in life. Whatever the case may be, in most people's eyes, the idea of submitting to anything or anyone is outdated and unduly restricting. But for kingdom people, submission is a powerful expression of what it means to love God with all of your heart and mind and body and strength. It is a word that we need to embrace. Therein is the problem. We don't want to submit because we don't want to give up the control of our lives to someone else, even if that someone else is God. And that's especially true when that surrender is costly. So it's easy for us to say we're surrendering to God in our prayers or to sing songs of surrender. But when it comes down to actually choosing to submit our lives to God in real life situations, well, that's another thing altogether. That's what makes Jesus' statement so incredible. Picture it with me for a moment. Jesus has been beaten within an inch of his life. Thorns have been forced into his scalp. Nails have been driven into his hands and feet. He's been hanging there on the cross for 6 hours. His detractors have ridiculed him and called him a liar and a blasphemer. His detractors and his closest friends abandoned him. He had to watch the tortured look on his mother's face as she just stood there helplessly watching her son die. To the uninformed bystander, it would seem like the Romans and the religious leaders, with all the powers of darkness behind them, were in complete control. God may have used Jesus to still a storm and feed a multitude, but anybody could see in this case, this one had gotten by him. But that's not how Jesus saw it. With eyes of faith, he could see everything as the fulfillment of the purpose that is coming. And having finished the work he had been sent to do, Jesus offered this word of submission with complete confidence. Father, into thy hands I commit my spirit. This phrase is actually a part of a quote from Psalm 31 that was the basis of a prayer that Jewish children were taught to pray every night before they went to bed. It was a prayer that Jesus had prayed, no doubt, hundreds of times at the feet of his mother. And now with Mary at his feet, he chose these words to express the total commitment of his heart. Prior to this, at his arrest, Jesus said that the Son of Man is being betrayed into the hands of sinners. And for hours, he had been in the hands of sinners. The hands of sinners took hold of him and bound him. The hands of sinners beat him. The hands of sinners stripped him. The hands of sinners crammed thorns onto his head. And the hands of sinners nailed him to a cross. But now as death approached, he would no longer be in the hands of sinners. He would be in the hands of his loving Father. So with a childlike quality, Jesus totally submitted himself into the hands of the Father, who was at all times fully pleased with the Son.